Hello, my name is Chris, and you're watching Yogventures Developers Video Log number 8. In today's episode, I want to go over some of the new features that we've put in and talk about the fact that we released pre-alpha. So let's just get right into it. The first thing that I wanted to say is thank you so much to all of the backers who have patiently waited for this release. We were really happy to be able to get pre-alpha out before Christmas. Obviously, if you've watched any of the videos, there was quite a number of bugs that we really did anticipate was going to happen. These very early releases are going to have a lot of issues, and there's not going to have a ton of features in, but it's really important that we get it out to the players and get their feedback. And we can't thank you enough for all the bug reports that everyone submitted. And to that end, we went ahead and made some fixes already. So the first fix that should be apparent when you first launch the game in version 0.2 is that the main title screens now should properly scale to which resolution that you're using. I'm sorry about that oversight in the beginning. So I'm just going to load up a save game here. Like I said, now you should be able to see the loading bar. I think that's what a lot of people were seeing before, was that the screen didn't resize to their monitor size, so they weren't seeing the loading screen happen, which probably made them think that the game had just hung or wasn't working at all. I apologize for the loading times. There's quite a bit that has to get generated right now in order for there to be a world for you to spawn into. As the releases go along and as optimizations happen and things like that, I'm sure we'll be able to make that a lot faster. So one of the first things that everyone sort of noticed right away was that the camera is fairly sensitive. And I guess that's kind of my fault, because I'm so used to playing Twitch games like Call of Duty or something like that, that I really like my mouse sensitivity really high. And obviously I didn't give you guys an option to change anything. So one of the first things that we've done, if you hit escape, you'll bring up this little pause menu. If you hit the options, now we have a mouse sensitivity, so you can turn that really far down if you really like. And then you'll see that the movement is much slower and more sluggish, which some people really, really enjoy. Personally, I like to have it pretty high, and yet it'll remember that you were on the option screen, so you'll need to go back to get out of that. Right now, when you're in screens and stuff like that, the world is still being affected by whatever tool you have selected. I didn't get a chance to fix that. I apologize. That'll be in the next release. We'll have that done. So the real main issue that everyone seemed to have was serious lag, especially in first person. And I didn't really notice it in our development builds before. And I guess it really took seeing it on computers that have maybe more minimal specs to really see the extent to it. But what's good about releasing pre-alpha so early and getting bug reports is that it led me to find a really serious error in our first-person camera code, and that's what was causing those egregious lag spikes. And like I said, I didn't really see them on my own development machines, but I think that's because they just have too much processing power and RAM. Seeing them on normal gaming machines, really, it became real apparent real fast that there was a serious problem. But as you can see now, I have hopefully nailed that problem down, and you shouldn't have that severe mega lag anymore. I'm not gonna try to say that all lag has been fixed. It certainly hasn't, and there's definitely a lot more optimizations that can happen to the terrain. But as far as pre-alpha goes, the main one that was causing all the huge problems should be fixed now. So another thing that we added originally was that Control 9 was going to teleport you back up to the land, but as people figured out, and that was only if you happen to manage to find yourself falling through the ground into infinity, and that would happen if you placed a block like right where you are standing. I've changed the distance now so that it has to be at least 2 blocks away from you to place a block. So you shouldn't be able to place a block and have it like be right where you are standing, and that should prevent you from falling through the ground in most cases now. But should you find yourself falling through the ground again, because it's a computer program. There's bound to be things that we can't anticipate. Control 9 should take you back, but now instead of just trying to find the space above you that's safe, it'll take you back to the last place you saved. So if we hit Control 9 now, this is where I saved the last time I was in the game. So you'll notice that it does get a tiny bit laggy in areas where, well, it'll probably be a lot laggy in areas where you've built up like I have here. That's mainly due to the fact that we're handling user-created geometry a little differently than we are the natural forming terrain and stuff like that. And obviously it's not as optimized as it needs to be yet. But we're working on it, and hopefully in the next few releases we'll have it even better than it is now. A lot of people didn't know what to do with the Frugs, and the Frugs were kind of overpowered and really nasty. So I just wanted to show you a quick change that we did to them. These Frugs we just added in the last week, so their AI is really, really dumb. They're still really slow and buggy, and they kind of even slow down your game. But if we get close enough, he'll get angry, and you can't outrun him. You're not fast enough. But it used to be that if you flew above him, he'd still know or still be able to hit you. I fixed that now, obviously. So now the distance from him is kind of the determining factor. If you get close enough again, he'll come in and close, and he'll start trying to attack you. It's still kind of buggy, like I said, but he'll keep attacking you until you start throwing bombs at him. If you throw bombs at him, he'll just keep spamming dropping blocks. I just put those in there just so that you would have something else to build with, because we don't have a lot of natural forming blocks quite yet. And it's nice to be able to get into your inventory. So now if you, another thing that we just added, if you hit the pause button, the escape key, you'll notice, and you're in first person mode, you'll notice the camera doesn't move around with you anymore. So you can actually open up your inventory and start moving around. Now, the one thing that I didn't fix, like I said, is whatever tool you have selected is still trying to affect the world out there. We'll get that in the next version of the pre-alpha. I just didn't get a chance to get it in quite yet. People were wondering, how does the inventory work, especially the lower bars. So the upper bar is like your hot bar. So that's why they're numbered 1 through 9. And yes, you have to use the number keys to select them. We don't have it to where you could just click on it and select it yet. If that's something people want, we'll add it in. But right now, that wasn't the way that we intended it to be. To put something in the hot bar slot, you need to first make it empty by clicking on it and dragging the thing to the current item to an empty slot, and then click on the new item and slide it back to that slot. So now if we hit 3 or 4 or 5, we're selecting the elements that we just put into those spots. I normally keep it down here just like a hotbar, but you can put it wherever you want, and obviously hitting I toggles it all together. So then when you go back, now we can start building with here's a bug that still kind of happens. When you go into the pause menu, your mouse cursor comes available. When you go out of the pause menu, the mouse cursor is supposed to go away, and right now that doesn't seem to happen. So if you hit F5 to go into third person and then F5 again, your mouse should be back working correctly. So now we can build with whatever we want to build with again. And again, it's going to try to not build anything too close to you so that you don't end up clipping through the world. You can do this if you're fast enough, normally. Oop. Or maybe it's not quite right. So the last thing, just a tip on how to build. If you hit F, you'll be in flying mode. I'm sorry, there isn't any indication on the HUD right now if you're in flying mode or not. But if you are in flying mode, when you hit Q or E, Q will take you up and E will take you down. So if you're up high enough, you can just build giant stacks up to you. And then that's a real easy way to build walls and things like that. Obviously, these are just the very first modes that we're having for building. We're going to have a lot of cool tools, copy and paste, and shapes, and prefabs, and things like that. We're going to have click and drag. All kinds of great tools are in the pipeline being worked on and things like that. So it'll be really, really fun to build with once we get everything fixed. So the two main things that we're working on next, though, is obviously everybody wants to have character customization. So that's the next really big feature that we got to get working correctly. And then the second thing that we really want to get in fast is building with something other than cubes. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really, really tired of cubes. And I can't wait to build with something that's not a cube. So we have a lot of ideas, and we're gonna start implementing them. And those are the two main features that need to be done before we can release alpha. So that's the criteria, guys. Alpha will be released when we get character customization and non-cube blocks working and optimized. And we'll make video updates as we progress over the next weeks, working towards those goals. So you'll be able to see exactly how close we are to alpha by how complete our videos are about character customization and non-cube blocks. I don't anticipate it taking forever, but pre-alpha is about 75 days late. We apologize for that. Alpha, we're going to try to make it less than that, but it could end up being that many days late as well, just because the two main features that we're trying to work on are going to require quite a bit of work to get working. But as soon as we can get it out to you, we certainly will. In the meantime, thanks once again to all of the backers. None of this would be possible without your support and the help that we've gotten from Kickstarter. Please keep submitting your bugs to the bug forums, or using the bug form. We do read them, and as you can see, we do work on using them to set up our priorities based on what you're finding. So thanks once again, and enjoy playing pre-alpha. Bye.